It was my first night on the job at a small convenience store at a gas station. The shift ran from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m., and while working nights wasn't exactly my dream, I needed the job to pay the bills. I figured it would be quiet enough, maybe even a little boring, but I was okay with that. The first few hours were pretty uneventful. A few customers came in, mostly truckers and late-night travelers, but nothing out of the ordinary. Around 1 a.m., I took a break in the back of the shop. That's when I found a note left on the desk from my boss. It was a welcome note for my first day on the job. Nice touch, I thought, until I read the end of the note. Do not leave the store at all costs at 4 a.m., no matter what. You can only leave once it reaches 5 a.m. That freaked me out a little, but I shrugged it off. Maybe it was just a joke or some weird tradition. I went back to the counter and continued my shift. At around 2:30 a.m., another customer walked in. He was a middle-aged man, probably in his late 40s, and looked like he had been on the road for a while. He bought a drink, and while paying, he asked, "Are you new around here?" "Yeah," I replied. "It's my first day working here." "Well, I should warn you about the weird freak that roams around here at 4 a.m., he said, leaning in slightly. My curiosity piqued. I asked him to tell me more. "You're not going to get any customers when it hits 4. Everyone that lives around here knows about this man and will be hiding in their homes. They say he drives a white van with lots of graffiti on it. He's always covered, so you can't see his face, and he carries a machete. The police can never catch him. He's too good, and I'm afraid you're out of luck. You better stay in the back once it hits 4. This is the unfortunate place where his wife died. Ever since then, he's been going crazy in this area, especially at this gas station. No employee here has ever lived to see another day once the mysterious man breaks in. It's strange. I always see a new worker here every week." His story sent chills down my spine, but I played it cool, nodding and thanking him for the warning. He left the store, and I watched him drive off, feeling a growing sense of unease. I decided to prepare. I locked the doors and boarded up the windows as best I could. I even found an old baseball bat in the back and kept it by my side. Better safe than sorry, right? As the clock ticked closer to 4 a.m., the store grew eerily quiet. The usual hum of the refrigerator and the buzzing of the fluorescent lights seemed louder in the silence. I couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was about to happen. At exactly 4 a.m., I saw a white van with graffiti all over it pull into the gas station. My heart raced as I watched a man step out. He was covered from head to toe, just like the customer had described, and he was carrying a huge machete. I immediately ran to the back and hid behind some boxes. My mind was racing, and I was trying to come up with a plan. Suddenly, I heard a scream outside. I peeked out from my hiding spot and saw the man chasing someone who had been wandering near the gas station. The unfortunate person didn't stand a chance. The screaming stopped, and then I heard footsteps approaching the store. The man started banging on the doors, trying to get in. My heart was pounding, and I was sweating bullets. I grabbed my phone and called the police, telling them what was happening and begging them to hurry. Then I heard a window break. The man had found a way inside. I knew I had to act fast. I decided to try and trap him in the shop until the police arrived. I moved as quietly as possible, positioning myself near the back exit, ready to make a run for it if necessary. The intruder was methodical. I could hear him moving through the aisles, knocking over shelves and smashing items. The sound of his heavy boots against the linoleum floor was terrifying. I clutched the baseball bat tighter, my hands shaking. I glanced at my phone. The police were still a few minutes away. I had to buy myself some time. I remembered there was a small storage room at the back of the store, barely noticeable unless you knew it was there. I decided to make a break for it, hoping the man wouldn't see me. As I crept towards the storage room, the man suddenly stopped moving. The silence was deafening. I froze, my heart pounding so hard I was sure he could hear it. Then, with a sudden crash, he started banging on the storage room door. He had found me. I backed away, looking for anything I could use to defend myself. My eyes landed on a heavy-duty flashlight. I picked it up. ready to use it as a weapon if necessary. The banging grew louder and more frantic. The door wouldn't hold much longer. Just as the door splintered, I heard sirens in the distance. The man turned, distracted by the sound. Seizing the moment, I swung the flashlight at his head with all my might. He stumbled, giving me just enough time to bolt out of the storage room and towards the front of the store. The police burst through the front door, guns drawn. They ordered the man to drop his weapon. He hesitated, then charged at them. The officers opened fire, and the man fell to the ground. It was over. I was safe. It was now 5 a.m. and my boss arrived. He walked in, acting innocent and nice, saying, "Hey Sam, are you all right?" He greeted the police officers, asking if everything was okay. He had a weird grin on his face that sent a shiver down my spine. Out of nowhere, one of the officers shouted, "Freeze! Do not move a muscle. We know what you're up to, old man, and your days are over." I was confused as they cuffed my boss. The officer explained to me that they had been investigating him for a while. It turned out he was working with the killer. They had a twisted agreement. My boss would hire new employees, and the killer would have 1 hour from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. to trap and kill them. That's why the note said to stay in the store. My boss expected to come back and find the job done. I was in shock. The reason for the constant turnover of employees was now horrifyingly clear. My boss had been setting us up to face this lunatic. The police took my boss and the dead mysterious man away. As the sun began to rise, I walked out of the gas station, still shaken but grateful to be alive. I decided right then and there that I would never work the night shift again.